What's bubbling, magical people? Welcome to the Witching Hour with MsMerlin, where we like to talk about all things witchy and magical. Your one-stop source for everything spellcasting, ascension, healing, tarot, mediumship, psychic gifts, spirituality, chakras, plant medicine, healing, nature, and much, much more. I'm Kimmy, aka MsMerlin, High Priestess and Shamaness, Medicine Woman, Psychic Medium, and Witch Extraordinaire. So let's jump on our broomsticks and meet me in the Crystal Coven Room. Today's topic is part 2 on synchronicities. And we're welcoming again my special guest, Mel. Hey, Mel.
Hi. Hello, everyone.
How you doing today?
I'm great. Feeling good and feeling this really great energy that we're in. Now we're coming into Virgo season, so kind of feel the shift.
Yeah.
So it's interesting, yeah.
Yeah, things are starting to calm down a bit. That Mercury retrograde energy has been pretty heavy and chaotic.
That's for sure.
You know, it's really funny. I want to giggle and laugh now every time that I say, let's jump on our broomsticks. Because recently I found out that how that got started was women back in the day, quote unquote witches, they put DMT on the end of their broomsticks and masturbated with it. So they were flying high on their broomsticks. So that's where that saying actually comes from.
Well, I guess it's pretty good when you jump on your broomstick then, huh?
Yeah. So now, like, when I say that in my opening, I have a hard time not, like, laughing about it.
You just picture it, right?
Yeah, because I know where it comes from. I don't want people to think that's what we're doing.
Not that kind of broomstick,
no. No, not today.
No.
Not on the podcast, anyway. Oh, gosh, I just thought that was so funny. All right, so continuing the topic of synchronicities. So let's maybe dive into the dream realm a little bit. Yeah?
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah, that's interesting. A lot of, for me, a lot of my synchronicities come in dreams. I could usually see where I'm at emotionally by the dreams that I have, because I tend to dream of a lot of water, for example, when I'm feeling a bit emotional or I'm having to deal with emotions that maybe I'm not aware of.
Right.
So I'll see different bodies of water. I'll be around different bodies of water. Like if I'm really at an emotional state, I notice I will be at a place in my dreams where there's waves. And if not, maybe it's just a lake or it's just a pool where the emotions are necessary to go and dive into, but I'm not yet aware of them, or they're not really prominent at the moment. So things like that, or even emotional states like confusion. I'll dream of tornadoes. I'll dream of all different kinds of weather patterns. So I can usually see what I have to look deeper at by the way that my dreams are showing up for me.
Right. And do you keep a dream journal?
I do.
Yeah, I've been trying to start doing that.
Yeah.
Just the stuff that I remember that's really significant, just to write it down. It's such a good idea to do because it can give you so many insights. I just, like, as most of you who know me know, I have ADHD. So I forget to do that a lot because I always think and lie to myself and say, oh yeah, I'll remember. I'm going to keep it in the file up here in my brain. And no, never happens. Just like I take screenshots of stuff that I don't want to forget all on my phone, and I'll never look at them again.
That's true. No, what I do is actually, if I can, when I'm waking up and there's, like, I just must have just dreamed it, I will go to my phone's notes, and I will kind of type. Even if I'm kind of half asleep, I'll force myself to try and remember. And that's usually the way that I can remember most of it.
That's a good idea. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's definitely a good tip.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, anytime that I'm noticing that in dream state or in my living state too with water, I know there's something going on with emotions. And it'll come up like my sink will get backed up and it'll be running slowly, right? So things are moving slowly. There's an emotional block there that would help the flow more, right? So yeah, so in dream state or in living state, we need to pay attention to all those little things that come up.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
That's true. Or even just past loved ones will come in my dreams, and usually throughout the day I'll have more synchronicities, like tangible ones, like I'll see the feathers, or I'll see a picture of my loved one, or something will happen where the name is mentioned, or somebody else will mention that loved one, and we hadn't spoken of them in a while. All of a sudden, the name will pop up, or a picture will pop up, and I'm like, oh, wow. So it's like the synchronicity is there. I guess my loved one was with me when I was in my dream state, or with me at the moment, or so it's really interesting when those kind of synchronicities kind of match up.
Yeah, I get that a lot too. I'll feel the presence of one of my loved ones, and then like my eyes will be drawn to my TV, which that's my emotional support background noise. I'm usually not paying any attention to it. But my eyes will be drawn to it, and I'll look over, and it'll be like the credits or something, and I'll see their name. So something like that. Or like they'll come through with symbols. You know, my grandmother, as you know, especially because she comes through with sunflowers a lot.
Right.
Yeah. So I'll think of her, kind of feel her energy, and then I'll see a sunflower, whether it be like out in nature, or if my eyes get drawn to my television and there's some on TV. Just little things like that. Yeah. The universe is always talking. We just got to learn the language.
That's it. That's right. Be open, and we'll get it. We'll get the signs. We'll get the messages. We just have to be open and willing to see them and experience them and receive them. Right.
And also, the more synchronicities and signs that you engage with, the more are going to come. Right? So we were talking about numbers last week too, the obvious ones, license plates on billboards, things like that. Or you look at your phone to see what time it is and it's 3:33, you know, or the clock on your microwave, you know, things like that. So when you look that up and you take in that information, you're engaging with that sign. So you're telling the universe, hey, I'm understanding this language that you're trying to speak to me. Send me more. Right? So if you keep engaging, that you're going to get more.
Sure.
Yeah.
That's true. I mean, all you have to do is look around. I mean, they're everywhere. The signs are everywhere. I go outside and I'll see feathers, and I'll see feathers of different colors depending on what my needs are. Like I noticed today when I went for a walk, I see brown feathers when I feel like I need grounding. Yeah. And that's my reminder. You need to ground. So I'll pick up, crystals that help with the grounding, or I'll just make sure that I ground into Mother Earth and just be conscious of the need for groundingness and do something about it. Because that's the whole thing. We're getting the messages, but if we're not really doing anything about them or using them in some kind of way to help us out, then they're not going to come as frequently.
Exactly.
My experience.
Yeah, anyway. You got to be engaging with them. Yeah. And like we were talking about the animals last week too. So like when you see animals, even if it's something that you see in your normal daily life, the fact that it's crossing your path at this moment, there's a reason for it. Right. So look it up. Whether, it's the same thing with me for television. My eyes get drawn to the TV and I'll see certain things, or I'll see a name, or something will come up, or, like I said, I'm not paying attention. It's just usually going in the background. My ears will just automatically sink in to a certain sentence or something. And I'm like, what?
Right. Yeah, that happens to me too.
Yeah.
When I'm cooking in the kitchen and the TV's on, and all of a sudden I might have been zoning out or just kind of concentrating on what I was doing. And then all of a sudden I'll hear a phrase on the TV having to do with something that I was thinking about.
Yeah.
And it's like, whoa, it's almost like a confirmation of what I was thinking about. And somehow, some way, it's going to answer something that was going on in my head.
Right.
So,
or make you feel better about it. Like, even if you don't get the answer, it's a validation like, hey, I'm not alone. I need to remember, like, there is a whole host of beings, ancestors, passed over loved ones, angels, all there beyond the veil helping us. You know, we've got a team of people. And just sometimes having that validation and that little wink from the universe, you know, it is enough to kind of pull you out of whatever kind of rut that you might be in, or, you know, lower mood or whatever it is.
Right.
Which happens to all of us. You know, anybody who says they're like love and light and stuff like that all the time, they're lying.
No, absolutely.
That's impossible for the human experience. No. Or they're just really heavily in denial of their shadow, you know, and not really spiritual at all. There's a lot of people out there like that. Right. We're going to go over that in another in another podcast, though. But we're going to talk about, you know, spiritual predators and fakes and things like that. But just staying open to it, keeping your eyes, ears, and feelings open.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And nothing's too small. Yeah.
That's true. You know, I noticed that when there's a certain feeling, I'll experience it in my body. And that's also a synchronicity for me to pay attention to. Like this morning, for example, my knees were starting to hurt out of nowhere for no reason. But when I started to really kind of tune into my body, all of a sudden, it kind of popped in my head. My intuition was popping in my head. What was going on? So that's the thing. We have to really listen to these things that are happening, especially when they show in your body. Yeah,
when you're super sensitive, you will feel things through your chakras. That happens to me all the time.
Right.
You know, when I'm doing readings and stuff like that, Spirit will push energy through certain chakras to let me know, like, what's going on in this situation. Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
True. It's interesting. The universe is always talking to us. That's for sure.
Yeah. It's just like I try to explain to people, like, it's not like the Sixth Sense. Okay, you're not just seeing walking around dead people. It doesn't work like that. It doesn't. Like, some people do have vision. Like, sometimes I will see an entity, but it's more they flash pictures, you know, or make you feel something, or give you the synchronicity, something like that. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and that's the thing. A lot of people are looking for, like, a big bang, big, you know, something flashing in the sky. You know, it's not like that. The universe is more subtle. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, for some people, you know, they do get those synchronicities. They do get those signs. For me, it's never been that way. It's always been really subtle.
Yeah.
I just have to really pay attention.
Right. Subtle nudges from the universe. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And the last thing I want to go over, just quickly before we wrap up, is people always ask me, like, how do I know if it's fear or if it's a sign? Right? Am I getting something? Am I seeing something that is reflecting to me of fear, or is this guidance? And the way that you can tell is your intuition or signs are a gentle nudge. The fear is, I need to do it now. I need to make a decision now. You know, it's surrounded in anxiety, right? So that's kind of how you can tell the difference.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. For me, definitely, I'll feel. When I'm kind of confused about whether something is fear-based or if it's an intuitive nudge, is I will feel it in my body. If there's a tenseness in my stomach, if I start to feel nauseous, if I start out of nowhere kind of getting anxious, I know that's not intuition. That's not universe. That's not spirit. That's more fear-based. So, this has been such a great topic to talk about. I love it.
Yeah, me too. It is so interesting. And, like, there's so much to say. So we might even, like, do another podcast again on synchronicities. But
hey, why not?
I want to thank you, Mel, for being here so much. And I want to thank you. And I want to thank all of you, as always, for being here. And always remember to make your own magic. See you later.